Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on getting a bunch of economic constructions done. And last episode, we moved some pops around to deprioritize some food production and prioritize some mineral production and some consumer goods production. So that is all good, but that doesn't mean that those jobs are filled, right? It just means that we reprioritized and shuffled some pops around. So our economy is in working order now, mostly, at least, other than our Unity, of course. But let's just check through here. I don't expect to see any buildings needed to be constructed. Yeah, that's about what I expected to see. So we've got these civilian ships working away. That looks good for now. I wouldn't mind buying in a few alloys at this price. In fact, let's buy a few more. That looks pretty decent. And we're still working on getting all of our defensive platforms up to scratch, right? So I'd like to come down over here and work on, for the moment, we've got Hell's Maw here. I believe this is completed. Yep. Markaz is not, but it's actually fairly close. We need 18 of these. Now, I don't quite have enough, but we can certainly get 12 going. So we're going to need 6 more. That's not bad. Okay, so that all looks good for now. We just finished an orbital construction, so I mean our civilian ships are going to continue working away. And we do need to deal with this influence, right? We're currently way too positive in our influence, and so that is absolutely noted. We can take locations like this. This is done. Done, done, done. These are pretty much done for now. I just want to go through all of these orbital rings and replace each of these in situations like this in particular, with habitation modules. So that'll be fine, we'll get those going. That'll take some time, of course, but that's fine. So all of these orbital docks are going to change to habitation modules, and eventually we're also going to want to replace this naval logistics office. So that is, what type of world is this? Okay, I guess we could boost, like, trade? So we could go for, like, Gigamall or perhaps Orbital Filing System. How many priest jobs do we actually have, though? Our politicians produce the Unity here, so we don't have priest jobs. So in that case, I think we pretty much have to go with, like, the Gigamall. So that'll be okay. So we're going to need to do a lot of these, right? And the question is, just how much influence do we want to actually get around to spending on this at this time? Well, we're going to also be short on alloys for this right now. So alloys are our current limiting factor. We'll just wait for that month tick. Now we've got enough to continue working on this. So we'll get some of these habitation modules put in here. I do want to keep us up over 160 influence at pretty much any given time. So we're going to need to wait for a couple more alloys to come in here. Wait, I want to check this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to put habitation modules in here as soon as this month tick comes, and then we're probably not going to work on any more of these for at least a little while, because we're going to need to have that Unity come up, right? So that'll be absolutely fine for the moment. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those, putting us at 163. So that looks good, and we're going to release a drone. Excellent. And we'll let those all be worked on for a little bit. Cool. So now what I'm interested in doing, of course, is continuing to get our population up. That is very, very important. Checking through our jobs there to see if there's anything that needs to be done. There is not. So we're at 2160 pops right now, and that's looking very solid, actually. I'm very pleased with that at this moment. So let's see what happens on this month tick. 2161. So only 1 pop growth on that month tick. Understood. We are full on minor artifacts. So to that end, I'm going to reverse engineer an arcane technology. There we go. So that will be absolutely wonderful. That, of course, does mean that we could start working on Titans, but we don't want to do that right now. I'm not sure what our final naval capacity is going to end up looking like. It will absolutely be shrinking as we get these orbital docks switched over to habitation rings, which we definitely want to do. So that will take time, and that's absolutely understood. So that's all okay for now. The real thing that we need to be working on is getting these civilian ships continuing to work, right? That is the kind of top priority at this point, is keeping these civilian ships functional. And we have, what, 8 of them? Yeah, 8 should be probably sufficient. So that looks absolutely fine for now. I would like to continue to work on getting our economy stronger, but really the thing that needs to happen for that is our pop count needs to go up. That's the whole thing. There's nothing else that needs to happen to that, and there's not really any direct way that we can contribute to having our pop go up any faster than it already is. We're pretty optimal on that right now.
New frontiers established.
Okay, so we just established a new colony here, which of course gives us 2 new pops. And here we can put in a gene clinic, so that will be absolutely wonderful. We can also put in a habitation district. And there we go. So that will continue to grow. Looks wonderful. So Astinda Prime looking good there. How are we doing on our Mega Art installation? Okay, that's going to be another 1,400 days. So that's going to take some time. No doubt about that. That's okay. I'm really not concerned about our Unity. We have a crazy amount of Unity stored up right now. I would like to be positive in Unity, but that's not hugely necessary at this moment. So this is reasonably fine. Hang on. No, don't do that. Where was that? There was an upgrade here. There it is. Gieti Secundus. Let's get a habitat system control going there. Also, Euchromia Prime. Absolutely. Get going on that. So that indicates that we definitely had some pop growth. Yeah, 2165. Not bad at all there. Very, very pleased about that. Now, one thing we could do is we could start upgrading the nasty buboes in order to spend our minor artifacts. And then start banking them again. And honestly, I'm going to do it. So we're going to get that going, and once that finishes, we're going to move these guys back immediately to the station. So the station is this one. There we go. We'll enter orbit as soon as we're done with that upgrade. So that upgrade is going to take a while. No doubt about that. And we may or may not... Well, we're at 600 right now. What's our Federation fleet cap? 600. Okay. So we're not going to get more ships. This is it. This is the whole thing. So that looks good. No issue there, and that, of course, is going to keep us from being capped on our minor artifacts, and we'll just bank up more of those, because we will need more. Absolutely will need more. We just don't need them right at this moment, so that is absolutely fine. So we're now up to 2167 pops. Everything is looking magnificent there, and if we look at our mega shipyard, yeah, there's a few upgrades here. Actually, that's not that many. Remarkably. Okay. Well, that's absolutely fine. I just want to get that upgrade completed so that hopefully we don't have to stare at this needs upgrade button all the time. That would be ideal. So I would like to get a few more alloys here. This price is mediocre, but I'm going to do it regardless. We just finished an orbital construction, but that construction ship is not idle. So that seems fine for now. At this point, what I want to work on with these alloys is spending down a little bit more of our influence. So let's get another one of these going. So something like that. Then we've got this naval logistics office here that's going to need to go away. And this is a forge world. We do produce some amount of consumer goods here, so to be honest, we could definitely have this be an orbital logistics system, and that seems fine. We did just finish a habitat complex that is right down over here, so that of course means that we need to send out our colonization bugs, and off they go. And then this construction ship is, hang on, we have a couple of orbital dock upgrades to do here. Definitely going to do those, but that's going to cost on the influence. So that is understood. This construction ship is likely going to be idle for a little bit. Here we're going to head out to Sarpocus? Yeah, we'll go with Sarpocus. And that's going to head over here. For now, we're going to enter orbit. We're going to need some influence. So that looks fine for now. Wait a second. No, we don't. we need to build habitats here, or rather orbitals. So we'll build a major here. This is going to be a minor. This will be another minor, a third minor. There's a lot of asteroids here. There's going to be a major out over this direction. This will be a minor. Yeah, this belt is very asteroid rich. And then this is over the star, so there's nothing needing to be done there. That should be everything. Okay, so we didn't need the influence. That's good. That is definitely a good thing. We're up to 2170 pop now, and that's looking phenomenal. With any luck, we're going to be in a position where we're going to start having open jobs again pretty soon. But basically every world right now has a pretty large amount of available jobs, so that definitely needs to be worked on. We're full on astral threads, not really anything to do about that right now. We just don't have things to spend them on. So that's fine for the moment, I suppose. What is this? This is a Shroud Storm? 116 years of duration on that, huh? Okay. I mean, it's a pretty small storm, but yeah, that's a long duration. That might end up being a problem eventually, but for now, it's probably not any sort of issue whatsoever. So that is fine. But what we really, really want here is pop growth. We need so much of it. So much. And yeah, that's just not happening, which is not surprising in the slightest. I want to be clear about that. It's not surprising that our pop growth is painfully slow, shall we say. And it's really not that painfully slow. Like, if we look at this, 5.98 per month. That's really not too bad. Why are these growing a lithoid? Okay, well, that's minus 25%. But if we looked at, say, that's a lithoid. This is a lithoid. Here's a non-lithoid. Okay, so this is a 5.86. That's going to be done in 14 months. I mean, yeah, we're definitely making progress in all of this. It's not the highest that I'd like to see, but I mean, it's this stage of the game, right? Things just kind of slow down at this stage with Stellaris, and that's just the way it works. I would like to get a bunch more alloys than what we're making right now, and I'm going to sell a little bit of food and then buy in a couple more alloys. I want to see about maxing out, I believe it was the Marquez station. There we go. That's now maxed out, so that's looking good. We've got all of these that are good to go. So we're making very, very, very solid progress on that. Nemian Secundus needs an orbital ring tier 3 upgrade. We can definitely get that going. Okay. Yep, that all looks solid. How is our Federation fleet upgrade going? I specifically want the Federation fleet here. Okay, it is 60% complete at this point. We're working on the Titans, looks like, and not too much else. Okay. Well, that's absolutely fine. We'll get those completed eventually. In the eventual times, that'll be absolutely fine. So we're currently at 119 influence. So that, of course, means that we do not want to be working on additional star bases here. Although our habitation rings are definitely making very solid progress. We would like to be on Nemean Prime and be upgrading this, but we really do need to bank the influence for right now. So this is really not a good option for the moment. As far as our defense platforms go, we've been making solid progress there. Hope's End Station is still being worked on upgrading to a Citadel. That's going to take some time, but the vast majority of these stations are now good to go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that are not started. So those 4 are going to take a little bit of time. Then we've got the Amlitzer Station, which is 12 of 78. So that's pretty close to not being started. We've got Weeperil, which is actually pretty close to done. And then, of course, Hope's End, which is not started. So we're making very, very solid progress here. With Marquez having been finished, I kind of want to just hammer out Weeperil at this point. And we're going to need a few more alloys for this, of course. The price is pretty decent. I'm going to sell some rare crystals, and I'm going to buy at this price. And let's just see about getting this finished. Yeah, that got it done. Fantastic. So that's Whitbaril completed at this point. So now we've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. We're making progress on that, but what we really need at this point is these guys to get back into their territory. Hello, we still need to reinforce fleet? Remarkable. So that's a destroyer, and the Hurricane is still going to need to reinforce a little bit. Okay, I didn't realize we still had fleet reinforcements to do. I'm going to buy 1250 more alloys, and we're going to reinforce this. That's 2 destroyers. That will get us maxed. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I did not realize that we didn't quite have our fleets maxed. I should have realized that, to be clear, but I didn't, so here we are. So at this point, I want to check in on our construction ships and see how those are doing. Looks like they're going to be still going for a little bit anyway. No problem. Let's check through. We're at 2178 pops now, so we're definitely seeing pretty decent pop growth. We grew by 8. A Freery actually needs a job. Remarkable. Now, this is a refinery world, which is not very surprising that this would need a job. So these are not very job efficient. They only produce 1 job for an entire building slot. We're doing fine on exotic gases, so we don't really need that to continue to be the case. I'm thinking about replacing a couple of these. So what we would do is we would replace one of them with an alloy foundry. We'd replace another one with a civilian, not an energy grid, with a civilian with a civilian industry. There we go. And then this last one, as soon as we get the system capital complex upgrade done, would be replaced with a Ministry of Production. So we're going to still have a pretty large amount of exotic gas refineries, and then these would get filled out with industrial districts from here. So that would be reasonably fine. Okay, what else would we potentially need jobs-wise here? If anything. We're starting to get to the point where we're needing actual constructions on our planets in some locations anyway, and that is a very, very good thing. I would be delighted
Handshake protocols
to get
activated.
to the point where that's happening regularly. No. We decline this research agreement. Thank you very much. So that all looks absolutely wonderful. But of course, we need a lot more pop growth. No doubt about that. I mean, if we go to, say, Eolum Prime, 29 available jobs here. Also, 22% devastation, and this is because this storm has been just kind of chilling here. It's got 115 years left on it. Monthly devastation added 0.13. That is definitely reduced. So do we have a storm summoning theater here. We have a storm attraction center. And we do have a storm nullifier actually. So that should be reasonably fine. Now, one thing we could do is we could order these guys to hunker down, and that's probably not a bad idea. In fact, I'm going to do that via the policies and edicts here. So we can do, where was that? Hunker down protocols. Okay, so this is fine. We're going to turn this on. That's going to put us even more negative in our unity. But I'm going to activate that, and that should immediately issue a hunker down protocol for, well, Eolum Prime, for one. But that will help cut down on the planetary devastation coming in. But yes, this is going to be a apparently very, 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 very long-lasting storm. And we're definitely going to want to have some hunker down protocols happening here. So yeah, more negative unity, but we should have that under control. I'm not very concerned about it. We're going to have more unity production soon enough, and it'll be fine. We have a huge unity stockpile anyway. So that seems absolutely wonderful. We're up to 203 on influence now, so that's looking good. What I'd like to do is I'd like to come down to Nemean Prime here and change these over. So we're going to need a habitation module for each of these. There we go, that puts us at 147. We don't need to work on any more of these for the moment, but eventually we are going to want to get all of these changed over. But that will take quite a lot of Unity, and that'll be a bit of a medium-term project. I don't know if we'll get it finished before this series ends. We're definitely winding up, so we'll get there soon enough. There's just a few more things that I'd like to do in this series before wrapping it up. Okay, all of that looks good. I'd like to come down over this direction, of course, and we've got
System survey
Demon's
complete.
Maw station here. We're going to need to start eventually building defense platforms here. We may as well start doing it now. So we'll get a few of those going. That seems fine. There's an orbital finishing up. Excellent. But overall, we don't have a whole lot going on right now other than just waiting for our population to grow into all of our infrastructure, right? That's mostly what we're looking for here. Now, in this location, we of course have the alloy foundry going in. That'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, the plan here is definitely going to be to bring this to a system capital complex, and we're going to need 50 pops here for that. So that's going to be a very long time. To be honest, we may want to just build a city district. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the city district here, and then this would become the Ministry of Production. So it would be something along the lines of this. So we'd give up one industrial district. We could maybe change that later. After the system capital complex gets upgraded, we could back off on the city districts. So that would be reasonably fine, I think. Or we could just say, you know, we only need 19 industrial districts anyway. That's absolutely fine. That's definitely a thing we could say. So the alloy foundry is going to get upgraded to an alloy megaforge, and of course that means that we now have our job on a freeway. So that is wonderful. We actually needed to build something for a job. I love it. Ebonar Prime is lacking in housing. It's not a job issue here. So we can definitely build these additional mining districts. This is a mining world. And of course, I'd also like to get this mineral purification hub upgraded. So let's move that up to here, like that. And that'll be fine for the moment. So that's definitely starting to see a couple of worlds where we're going to have to do maintenance as the population continues to grow. That's really good to see. That is some serious, serious progress there on our population growth. Very, very happy to see that one. So we're up to 2183 pops right now. Our goal should probably be like 2500. We need a lot. We need a lot of pops. But we've been growing quickly, so that is good. A lot of this growth, though, has been kind of artificial because it's been growing on these platforms, right? A magnetic storm has been detected. That's fine for the moment. But this Shroud Storm, it's just going to sit right here. We know that. We know for a fact it's just going to sit there. So we are able at this point to reduce the devastation a little bit, but this is going to be rough. We're going to have high devastation in this area again. And it's just because these storms last so very long. 115 years is an insane duration, considering the storm's already been sitting here for probably like... Based on the amount of devastation that's been built up, we could actually calculate it. So this is 0.13, but we know that before we did the hunker down protocols, it was like 0.14. So 0.14... And we're currently at 25.32 divided by 0.14. That's 180 months, 181 months, essentially, of time there. So we divide that by 12. This has already been sitting here for 15 years. And it's got another 115. That's kind of absurdly long when it's not being extended. I think that Paradox should definitely come in and take a look at that. I'm okay with having storms last that long if you're actively maintaining them with your science chips, which is a thing you can do, but we haven't been because they last so long as it is. We need more time for our planets to recover. So it makes this kind of storm attraction setup not necessarily great, right? We definitely want our setup in the future to be storm repulsion focused, just because of the sheer duration of these things. Now, this is also a rare storm, but this is not considered a red storm the way that the Nexus storm was. But it is absolutely a rare storm. We do need to put in a gene clinic here. And a habitation district. There we go. And hopefully this will not actually last 115 years. We can hope. At any rate, the game will probably not last 115 years, so we may not find out how long that lasts. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue our constructions here. Our economy is definitely picking up, and we are going to continue to work on that. But very soon, we're going to start having these star bases where we want them to be.
Complete.
And then we're going to unleash the big one. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Andy McGar, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.